joining us today. This is our very first live demo. We're in Sunderland, Ontario. Not sure where everybody else is. It's a nice sunny day and we've just come out of lockdown, but we are still in red zone. So we are a long way from teaching workshops. We miss you so much. We can hardly wait to get our hands dirty again with you guys. So we just thought we would try and do this for a change. I am going to paint this piece for you today. This will be our Fusion 101 workshop. And this will be the equivalent of our Fusion 101 workshop. So please, while you're watching me today, ask any questions you want, even after the live is done. We're going to leave it on our Facebook page and we'll eventually get it linked to our website. And don't be afraid to ask questions later if some people actually did have to work today. So we're going to go from start to finish today. I have lightly sanded this piece and I have washed it with Fusion TSP and water. I'm just going to finish up one side now to show you how to do it. Prep is king. Don't skip the prep. Prep right, paint once. So if we weren't going, this is mahogany. Mahogany has a lot of tannins that can bleed through. It's not a criticism of Fusion mineral paint. Anybody's paint can cause bleed through. If you were doing this a white or a raw silk or a really light color, you need to prime this first, okay? Primer is only, in this case, for a light color. If you don't, you will eventually get bleed through probably. You need to use a shellac-based primer, the super smelly stuff. Nothing else will work. It's one of the very few times that I have to work with a chemical. So I recommend the BIN Zinsser, B-I-N, Zinsser shellac-based primer, okay? You would put 2 coats of primer on if you were painting this any of the light colors. Today we're going to be painting a medium color, which I'm still not going to tell you what it is yet. So we don't need to prime today. So I've pretty much gotten this done, but just to show you how to do this, I am going to show how to sand this side piece, okay? So you do not need to get all this gloss off. We're just roughing it up. We're just giving it teeth. People think priming or sanding and prepping is a lot of work. I'm going to show you how fast it is. Always sand with the grain. That's it. That is how easy it is, okay? We're just roughing it up. So that is the sanding. Then we are going to wash with the TSP and water. We use the Fusion TSP alternative. It is no VOC, no volatile organic compound. It is just 2 capfuls to a liter of water, okay? So this will go you a really long way. If you use regular TSP, which is really not nice stuff for the environment or yourself, you have to rinse it off afterwards. You can use it if you've got a line around, go ahead. But with this product, you don't have to rinse afterwards. So I'm just going to give it a quick scrub. And that's it, okay? Our prep is done. That's how easy this is. Prep is super important, but it's not the awful thing that everybody thinks. Now for the reveal. Soapstone, folks. That's what I'm going to paint it today. It was really, really fun to post this yesterday because everybody had a different idea. Midnight Blue, I have to tell you, I actually had Midnight Blue out this morning and I had Coal Black out this morning. And then I just changed to Soapstone. So, as we all say, the hardest part of doing this is picking the color. I am using a roller for this piece. I'll show you just how easy it's going to be. Do not use foam rollers with Fusion Mineral Paint. Use the microfiber rollers, okay? The roller and the arm are $5.99. 2 roller refills are $3.99, and you'll be amazed just how quickly this goes. So I'll also just use a little brush just for getting in the corners. Rolling is my favorite way to paint, okay? And I'm just going to show you how easy it is. While we're going along today, don't be afraid to ask any questions. My handy dandy husband and cameraman Norm is there, and he will try and see what's going on. He hasn't done this before, and I haven't done it before, so go easy on us. So I'm just going to load my roller up. When you're rolling, use long strokes. That's how you keep the brush strokes away, okay? If I'm going to go doot, 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 that's not going to work. That's going to show a brush stroke. The other thing is, already this paint is drying a little bit. Fusion Mineral Paint dries really quickly, which is great. So if I'm going to start jumping back in now and fiddling, I'm going to open the paint up. That's the other way you get brush strokes, okay? So you just kind of do your thing, step back, and stop. We all want to go back in. We all see little things. We want to keep going and fiddling. That's how we get brush strokes, okay?
Leanne, Krista commented that we're doing a great job so far.
Woo, thank you. Thank you, Krista. Maybe you can come and do it for us next time.
And Grandma P wonders if we will post the prep products used and, for instance, the number of grit for the sandpaper. So that's something that could be put on the site afterwards.
That's a great question. Everybody's going to give you, Norm can just zoom in on that TSP, and everybody's going to give you a different answer on that. I usually use between 150 and 200 for my sandpaper, but everybody will give you a different answer, okay? We all have different preferences. If it was super, super shiny and glossy, then you might want a little more grit and maybe sand it twice. If it's wood, sanding and washing is all you need. But we can still use Fusion if it's not wood. If it's, you know, those melamine high gloss kitchen counters, we can still paint them. The trick to that, though, is to put our product Ultra Grip on first.
Now the reason you're using a brush on the drawer is because of the raised trim there.
Exactly. If you want to zoom in a little bit, the roller's just not going to cut it. And this particular brush is our Stolmeister number 10 brush. It's a great little brush for $12.99.
Well, by the way, take the hardware off first as we did. It sure makes the job a lot easier.
Yes, absolutely. And then the other question is going to be, what hardware are we going to put on? Are we going to put that? This was actually pretty nice hardware. So we may put this hardware back on, but you'll see that you change the paint, you change the hardware, you change the whole look.
Leanne, there's a question from Lynn. Do you need to sand if you are using Ultra Grip?
Yeah, did you see how quickly my sanding was? It took me 2 seconds. You need to sand lightly, and you need to wash with the TSP and water, okay? So you saw how quickly I did that. don't skip it, because it's a whole lot harder to try and fix your mistakes after the fact.
And a question from Sue, should you keep the drawer in or out to paint it? Well, it got painted and now it's out. So
Well, Sue, it depends on how young your knees and your back are. You could certainly have put it on the table. Norm, do you want to explain what these are sitting on?
we just have small little 1x2 dollies here that just make the job so much easier. We've put one on either end just so we can spin the piece around, and it just you can pop into Princess Auto or any, probably some of the hardware stores would carry them too. We bought these when Princess Auto had them on sale, so they're just really handy to use. So.
I think we paid, I mean, they were on sale when we bought them. I think we paid like $7.99 each for them or something. The other thing, I'm on a little rubber mat for my knees here. If this was a smaller piece, we could certainly have put it up on the table. Why on earth would Leanne pick a small piece when she's doing her very first live demo? I mean, I ask you, who would be crazy enough to pick a small piece? What does everybody think about the color I picked?
Kim thinks you love a challenge.
Well, if it's the Kim I know, she knows me well, and she'd do the same thing. Go big or go home. You know, a lot of people, when I do teach this class, because we could have 4 or 6 people in the class at the same time, I always ask that they pick a small piece that they can carry with one hand. And the reason being is we're all crammed in here together. But people are often intimidated by the size, and you know, they'll bring in a little tiny end table or a little kitchen stool, and they'll say, oh yeah, but I've got my grandmother's buffet at home I have to do. It's the same thing. It doesn't matter whether this is an end table or a buffet. It's exactly the same principles. And anybody who's painted a bathroom would know that sometimes the bigger piece is actually less fiddly and doesn't actually take you as long. I mean, if you've ever painted a bathroom, it's more work to be fiddling around all those little things than it is to paint a big, huge wall in a living room or something. So I call this a mid-tone color, soapstone. It's got absolutely incredible coverage. You can see what I usually say with the colors like this is I call them a 1.5 coat paint. I'm not quite going to get there in 1 coat, but gosh, it's going to be close. So even if you do get there in 1 coat, that's fine, but 2 coats is more durable. And you can actually just wait about an hour between coats. All depends on the weather too. I mean, we're in Canada, we're in Ontario, super dry right now, cold and dry. So we've had our furnaces going, paint dries very quickly right now, whereas in the humid July weather, paint might take a little longer to dry. So what time is it now, Warren? Can you see that on the phone?
No, I guess it would help if we wore watches, wouldn't it? It's 12:15.
Okay, so we started this at 12. I had a little blurb at the beginning. I re-prepped the one side And in 15 minutes, look how far I've gotten. Rollers are fabulous things.
Kim mentioned that she'd rather paint a buffet than a chair with spindles. I can
Oh yeah,
agree with her on that.
we all know that one, don't we? Okay. We're gonna do this side, and then we're gonna do the top. We're quite a while from feeling comfortable to bring a bunch of people in and do workshops in close quarters. So if there's any other demos, live demos that you guys would like us to do, by all means post them. Let us know what you'd like to see. If you're having trouble with something, if you're having trouble applying wax or glaze or something, just give us a holler and let us know. We'll happy to do that another day. This is gonna have to be my fix for being with you guys for now. We have been shipping all across North America during the lockdown. And Norm, do you want to tell them where all our product is now? Our markets?
All the markets are open now, all the 4 locations. So we're at Shirley's in Beaverton. We're at the Wild Garden in Cannington. We're at the Vintage Market in Port Perry, which is just to the west side of the causeway. And we are at Antiques on 48, so just north of Ravenshoe Road on Highway 48. So there's paint display in each of the 4 places, and actually at the Vintage Market in Port Perry, we also carry IOD there as well, because we have a little more room in the booths there to display products. Kathy wants to know if you're going to distress this piece.
That is always a good question, and honestly, to tell you the truth, even whenever I start a piece, I often don't know where I'm going with it. I don't need to know. I think that's part of the artist in me. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Sometimes it begs to be, sometimes it doesn't. When I'm making these pieces, unlike you guys, I'm right now painting this for somebody I don't even know yet. I haven't met them. I don't know what they want. So, but that also leads me to another point, and that is that fusion is very durable. You really don't need a top coat 99% of the time. You can if you want. Chalk paint needs a top coat. Fusion mineral paint doesn't. So I could distress this. I could put glaze on it. I could put wax on it. I could leave it the way it is. If it's going to get a lot of wear and tear, I might even just put a top coat on just the top.
Leanne, speaking of distressing, I'm very distressed. You missed a spot here.
Oh, thank you. Anybody else work with their husband? Okay guys, we're done. I will let this dry about an hour. I will put a second coat on it, and then I will decide from there whether we're going to distress it, whether we're going to tough coat it. I will do, if I am doing something, I'll do it before I put the hardware back on. But we are done. So please...
20 minutes.
20 minutes from start to finish. Please continue with your questions. I'll be happy to look at them as we're having our lunch here. And also let us know if there's anything else you want us to demo. Thank you so much for your continued support. We've just been going through what everybody else has been going through with COVID. We love you, we miss you, and we'll be back.
Just so you know, Leanne, there's a horse's bum over your left shoulder.
Is that a dark horse? Have a good day, guys.